English Leap Podcast.
From Speak English with Class.
Hey there, English learners. Welcome back to another episode of the English Leap Podcast, your go-to English podcast for learning English and picking up some real-life wisdom along the way. I'm Erin.
And I'm Evan. We're so glad you're here with us again. And if you tuned in last time, you know we started talking about some powerful life lessons, the kind that stick with you and really make a difference.
That's right. And honestly, those lessons weren't just helpful, they were eye-opening. We talked about ways to shift your mindset, boost your confidence, and take meaningful steps toward the kind of success you're aiming for.
And if you haven't listened to that episode yet, definitely go check it out. It's packed with real-life experiences, actionable advice, and simple changes you can make that really move the needle in your personal growth.
We've already shared a few of those lessons, and trust me, that was not the end of it. Today, we're back to continue the conversation with even more insights, and maybe help you see things in a way you haven't before.
So stick around, because the things we're discussing today might just be the ones that resonate with you most. And who knows, maybe they'll even change the way you think or live.
And before we jump into the good stuff, here's a quick heads up. We've created a free PDF guide for today's episode packed with key takeaways, comprehension questions, and grammar practice to help you apply everything we're sharing today.
You'll find the link in the description, grab it, and make the most of this episode. It's a great way to review and practice at your own pace.
All right, ready for round 2 of real talk, lessons learned, and a bit of inspiration along the way?
Yes, let's dive into it. The next life lesson is one that really helps you move forward without getting stuck. Progress over perfection. I used to get stuck thinking everything had to be flawless before moving forward. Whether it was starting a new project or practicing English, I thought, if it's not perfect, I shouldn't even try. That mindset kept me paralyzed.
I totally get that. For me, it was always about hesitation. I remember wanting to start a blog to improve my writing skills in English, but I kept putting it off. Why? Because I was scared of making mistakes. And guess what? I didn't write anything for months. That fear of not being perfect literally hindered my progress.
It's like waiting for all the traffic lights to be green before leaving your house. It's never going to happen. The truth is, perfection is an illusion. Every mistake, every rough draft, every awkward sentence, it's all movement, and that's what gets you better.
Absolutely. And here's something for our English learners. Don't wait to speak until you feel fluent. Speak now, even if it's not perfect. Each attempt is practice, and each practice leads to improvement. Celebrate the small wins, like having a short conversation or understanding a podcast. That's progress.
Spot on. Perfection is the enemy of progress. So focus on getting better, not being perfect. Trust us. Progress feels a lot better than being stuck.
And you know what? When we stop chasing perfection and just start taking action, something amazing happens. We begin to show up more fully, not just for tasks, but for moments. And that brings us to a lesson I've really come to value.
Yes, this one hits hard. Presence over distraction. Let's be real. Distractions are everywhere. With all the buzzing phones, notifications, and to-do lists, it's easy to be in a place physically but not mentally. I've had entire conversations where my brain was somewhere else, thinking about dinner or what's next on my schedule.
Haha, same. I used to try multitasking all the time, listening to a podcast while checking emails, cooking, and texting. Guess how much I actually absorbed? Not much. Being present means giving your full attention to the moment, and honestly, that's when you learn the most.
Right? It's like trying to water 10 plants with one small cup. You end up giving each plant just a few drops. When you're distracted, you're giving everything partial effort, and it shows.
Yes, but if you focus it on one spot, you create real growth. Presence is about focusing your attention. When you're truly present, you learn better, connect better, and even retain information more effectively. It's the same with learning English. Focused practice beats distracted practice every time.
Exactly. If you're studying vocabulary while scrolling Instagram, it won't stick. But if you take even 15 minutes of focused time, just you and your English material, you'll retain so much more.
So, for our listeners, especially English learners, try this. Set a timer for 15 minutes. No phone, no distractions, just you and your English practice. Give your full attention to a lesson or conversation. You'll be surprised how much more connected and effective your learning becomes.
And here's the cool part. When you're present, you start to notice the little things, the good moments, the progress. And that's where gratitude comes in, which brings us to our next life lesson.
Yes, gratitude shifts everything. There was a time when I felt stuck, always thinking about what I didn't have. But then I started writing down 3 things I was thankful for every day. Simple things like finishing a task, learning a new phrase in English, or even just having coffee with a friend.
That sounds so familiar. I used to focus on what I was missing. More time, more money, more skills. But when I shifted to gratitude, I felt more content and less stressed. It helped me reframe my situation.
And I love that word, reframe. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring problems. It means not letting them overshadow everything else. It brings balance to your mindset.
Right. So, if you're learning English and feeling like it's not enough, take a moment to reflect. I understood that sentence today. I used a new word. That's progress worth appreciating.
A simple gratitude journal, or just thinking of what went well today, can change your energy, your focus, and your motivation.
And gratitude also helps with something that can really weigh us down, trying to control everything. Which leads perfectly into our next life lesson.
Oh, this one hits home. I used to be a total control freak, trying to manage every detail, predict every outcome. But life doesn't always go to plan, and trying to control the uncontrollable left me feeling overwhelmed and tired.
Yeah, I've felt that too. I remember prepping for an English test, stressing about what questions would come up, how others would perform, things I couldn't influence. It drained my energy. I had to learn to focus only on what I could control, my preparation, my mindset.
Here's a metaphor I love. It's like carrying a heavy backpack full of stuff you don't need. Letting go of control is like unloading that weight. Suddenly, you can breathe easier.
That's a great visual. For our English learners, you can't control how fast others learn or if someone corrects your grammar. But you can control your practice, your effort, and your attitude.
Letting go of what you can't control frees up your energy for what actually helps you grow.
Exactly. And once you've let go of what's beyond your control, something really powerful happens. You suddenly have more energy, clarity, and freedom to focus on what actually matters.
Yes, and one of the most important things you gain back is time. When you stop stressing over everything, you realize just how valuable your time really is. Which brings us to a lesson that's shaped the way I live every single day.
Okay, let's get into it. This next life lesson is all about how we use our most precious resource. Time is priceless. Spend it wisely. For a long time, I treated time like it was unlimited. I'd fill up my schedule, say yes to everything, and wonder why I always felt rushed and drained.
Oh, I've done the same. There were days I'd feel so busy, but by the end, I'd realize I hadn't actually done anything meaningful. Time is like money. You can either invest it in things that bring value, or you can spend it without even noticing it's gone.
Exactly. The difference is, you can earn more money, but you can't get back lost time. And once I realized that, I started being more intentional, blocking time for rest, learning, and the things that truly matter.
For our English learners, this means being mindful of how you're practicing. You don't need hours every day. Just 15 to 20 minutes of focused learning can make a big impact if you're consistent.
Totally. Use your time wisely, set goals, avoid distractions, and give yourself credit for using your time to grow.
And speaking of using time wisely, one of the most powerful ways to protect your time and energy is learning to do this next thing. It took me a while, but it's been life-changing.
Yep, learning this changed everything for me too.
Let's talk about the power of saying no. I used to be the person who always said yes. Yes to helping, yes to extra work, yes to plans, even when I was exhausted. I didn't want to disappoint anyone. But in trying to make everyone else happy, I forgot about myself.
I relate to that so much. There were times I agreed to things just because I didn't want to seem rude. But saying yes to everything left me drained, and honestly, sometimes even resentful. Learning to say no felt uncomfortable at first, but it gave me freedom.
Saying no is about boundaries. It doesn't make you mean, it makes you wise. It's like building a fence around your peace. Not to shut everyone out, but to make sure you have space to thrive.
And for English learners, this could mean saying no to time wasters or distractions, or even saying no to that inner voice that says, "Don't speak, you might mess up." Saying no to fear lets you say yes to growth.
Exactly. Protect your peace. Time and energy are limited. Don't give them away to everything and everyone. Sometimes no is the most respectful word you can say to yourself.
And once you're protecting your peace and being intentional with your energy, there's one more thing that can truly transform your life and your relationships. It might sound simple, but trust us, it's powerful. And it starts with how you treat yourself.
Absolutely. Invest in yourself. For a long time, I thought I had to earn self-care or learning time. But I realized I can't pour from an empty cup. Taking care of myself isn't a reward. It's the foundation of everything else.
Absolutely. I started prioritizing things that help me grow. Reading, resting, practicing English, even just walking outside. And you know what? I started feeling more focused and energized.
It's like maintaining a car. If you never service it, eventually it breaks down. Your mind and body need maintenance too.
For our English learners, investing in yourself could mean setting aside time to study, buying a good course, or simply allowing yourself to rest so you can learn better tomorrow.
Even listening to this podcast is an investment, so be proud of yourself. You're showing up for you, and that's powerful.
Wow, Aaron, have you checked the time?
Wait, seriously? I thought we just started.
Right? We've been so caught up in today's chat, I didn't even realize how deep we got into it.
That's what happens when the topic's this good. Time just slips away.
Exactly. All right, friends, we're wrapping it up here. But don't worry, we've packed everything into the PDF guide for you, so you can go over all the key points, plus get some extra practice.
And now it's time for something we know you look forward to. Let's pass it over to Charlotte for today's vocabulary breakdown. She's got some great words and phrases lined up for you.
Hi everyone. I'm Charlotte, and here are some useful English words and phrases from today's episode to help boost your vocabulary, comprehension, and confidence. Let's get started. Mindset. Meaning, the way someone thinks about things. Example, a positive mindset can help you overcome challenges. Impactful. Meaning, having a strong effect. Example, his speech was short but very impactful. Move the needle. Meaning, to make a noticeable difference. Example, practicing every day really moves the needle in learning a language. Resonate with someone. Meaning, to feel connected to an idea or message. Example, her story about learning English really resonated with me. Paralyzed by fear. Meaning, unable to act due to fear or doubt. Example, he was paralyzed by fear before giving his speech. Hinder, meaning, to make it harder to do something. Example, the noise hindered my ability to focus. Illusion, meaning, something that looks true but isn't real. Example, the idea of a perfect life is often an illusion. Show up for yourself, meaning, to take care of your own needs or goals. Example, she showed up for herself by taking a rest day. Retain information, meaning, to remember or keep. Example, I find it hard to retain new words without practice. Reframe a situation, meaning, to look at something differently. Example, she reframed failure as a learning opportunity. Overshadow, meaning, to make something else seem less important. Example, his mistake overshadowed all the good work he had done. Control freak, meaning, someone who wants to control everything. Example, I used to be a control freak about planning every detail. That's it for today. Try using these words in your own conversations or writing. And don't forget, you can review them all in the free PDF guide linked in the description. Keep learning, and I'll see you in the next episode.
Thanks, Charlotte. Those words are super helpful. And remember, folks, practice makes progress, not perfection.
And if you haven't already, grab your free PDF guide from the description. It's packed with everything you need to review, reflect, and reinforce what we talked about today.
We'll catch you in the next episode with more real-life conversations, life lessons, and of course, more ways to boost your English.
Take care, stay curious, and keep learning. We'll see you next time on the English Leap podcast.
Bye for now.
Your progress doesn't end here. To continue advancing your English skills, click on the next video or explore the additional videos we've thoughtfully selected for you.